Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Steve Mills, and I've spent over 28 years helping small businesses, coaches, advisors, consultants, and people in the helping industry to become more successful. I am here today to provide you with some ideas and ways in which you can grow your business. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time. I'm not going to keep you a long time. It's going to be about quarter of an hour, give or take a few minutes. And what I want to make sure that I do is that I'm respectful of you. I couldn't say it then. Respectful of your time, and B, I add some real value. So that's my goal. Today we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on Facebook, and we're also live on YouTube. In addition, I'd like to welcome all my contacts on my Results Mastery podcast who are listening in today. And they could be listening on my podcast, on iTunes, Amazon Music, or about 30 other places that I'm streaming this literally live. And we've got somewhere between, normally anyway, I've not checked today, but we've normally got somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 people listening to this. So it's great to have you here, and thank you for being here. So today we're talking about influence, the psychology of persuasion. And this is based on a great book, which I just thought, for those of you watching on video, I'll show you here. For those who aren't, and for those who are, actually, I strongly recommend you go and buy this book. I'm not on commission. I can't sell it you. But I'm sure if you went to Amazon and or other places similar, you'll be able to buy that book without any problem. You can see my copy is a very well worn and highlighted copy here, and it really is a fantastic book. But basically, like a lot of books, it contains a limited amount of information, but it's in a book. I always think, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People as basically 7 tips. And yet the book's about an inch thick, and I'm sure it's full of great, value and so on. But I'm going to try and, condense things down and give you my take on what you need to do and what you'll learn. But I still recommend, going and buying this book. It's a great book. And by the way, he's written another book now. Let me just grab that and I'll show you. There it is. It's called Persuasion. I'm only part way through it, which is a bit embarrassing, actually, because I think I've had it about a year at least. I'm normally pretty good at reading stuff, but it is a bit of a read, as you can see there. But anyway, thank you for being here, and let's crack on with things. So basically, the influence of psychology of persuasion comes down to 6 things. 5 and what? 6 things. 6 things he's talking to you about. And they're really what he calls the weapons of influence. How do we influence other people? And that could, not only in sales, but just generally in life. How do I influence my son to clean his room, or, whatever it happens to be, or even myself to get me to go down the gym? I've got to be good at influencing myself to do things sometimes. So, let me go through those, but I'm going to, basically view it from a marketing and from a sales perspective. So the weapon number 1, if you will, is reciprocation. This is a big one, and it's often not used as effectively as it could be. It comes down to the fact, if you do something for somebody else, they're more than likely going to do something for you. One of the great things about humans, I think, is that, I can walk out into the street now, go up to a stranger, somebody I've never met, and go, "Oh, hi, I wonder whether you could help me." And most people are going to say either, "What is it? Yeah, what is it?" Or "I'll try," or something like that. It's very rare that people go, "No." They might do, "No, I'm sorry, I'm really busy right now." And I suppose, in some cities and parts of the world, people are a little bit more, what's the word? I suppose, in a way, worried about things when a stranger comes up to them. But let's just assume we're, coming up to people from a business context, be it at a networking event or, any other, perhaps they meet you on your website or on LinkedIn or social media or through email and so on and so forth. How can you use the law of reciprocation? That's the question. Well, I'll give you some examples from my world. What I'm doing right now is a free seminar, and you're listening to it. So I'm giving you something free that's of value based on my expertise. If you think, why am I doing that? Well, I'm doing it for two reasons, really. One, I'm committed to helping businesses to be more successful, and I've been doing that for 28 years. And two, I'm hoping and believing that only a percentage will come and want some more information from me, and they'll pay me for that information. So, I whether that's coming onto my results mastery program or whatever it is, some people will come back to me and say, look, I enjoyed your talk. How can you help me further? And that's great. That's what I'm looking for. So I could do that. I could offer a free report. I could take a report, put it on my website and say, I've just written a report called the 7 things businesses need to do on LinkedIn to grow their business. If you want to download it, here it is. And I have a button there that they have to put their name, email, telephone number in, and then I can call them up and say, did you get it? What did you think? Do you still need further help? And if you do, there's more chance. This is not about cold calling, you see? See how valuable that is? So think about what you can do in order to induce the law of reciprocation. Now, if I was a landscape gardener and ran the Steve Mills landscape gardening business, I could write a book on landscape gardening. And when I go and give a quote, I'd say, thanks ever so much for considering me. Here's a quote of what it's going to cost. And by the way, I'd like to give you a copy of my book as a thank you for your interest in my service. You see that? And if they're going to get 2 or 3 other quotes, all things being equal, who are they going to go with? The chances are they might go with me. So that's reciprocation. Next one, consistency and commitment. People love things that are consistent, even if they're not very good. Take McDonald's. Why do we all, well, not everybody, but why do a lot of people go to McDonald's, even though, it's not the best burger in the world, is it? Why do they do that? Because they know what they're going to get. They know how much it's going to cost. They know it's consistent, and they know exactly what it is. And that's what people like. So when it comes to things like, being in business and being consistent, it's so important that everything is consistent. Well, this is where the brand comes in. I used to have a client, they were a law firm, okay, and I won't tell you what they are anymore about them. I would hate to embarrass them because they're great people. But they used to claim that they were the best law firm in their city. And they were. Really good people, good at what they did, great customer service, lots of ticks on that box. But if you looked at their website, it looked like there were 2 men and a dog working out of a bedroom somewhere. The website was a dog, it was terrible. It did not reflect consistently their brand. So, that's another area of commitment I think you need to think about. Making sure that everything, your brand, your personal brand, your company brand, your product brands are of a high level and consistent throughout. Next one, social proof. Social proof, not talking about social media, I'm talking about social proof, although social media can be used to get social proof. What do I mean? I mean things like case studies, testimonials, recommendations. We need to be proactive in this, not just sit back hoping people will recommend us, but chasing that, going after that, trying to talk to people. asking people to recommend us. You know, going on to LinkedIn, if you go onto LinkedIn now and have a look at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see something like 150 recommendations on there. Now, if you then ask me to send you my don't take our word for it brochure, which I could do, in there you'll see something like 35, 40 pages of testimonials and case studies saying how good Steve is. Now, I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that, you know, what I'm doing there is social proofing. You know, this is a document that I can send out to people that doesn't, you know, it's not me telling people how great I am. It's other people being very kind and saying nice things. And they're all absolutely 100% genuine. And most of them have come from LinkedIn. So, you know, that's another great opportunity for you. You know, even things like having testimonials on your website, and not just having like 2 or 3 on your homepage, but having, if you've got a LinkedIn marketing page, having LinkedIn on there. If you've got a search engine optimization page, having it on there. If you've got a landscape gardening page, have it on the have testimonials appropriate to whatever it is you're selling on that particular page. I think that explained it a little bit better than I was doing at first. Next one, liking. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. You've probably heard that many times. Why am I doing this? I'm hoping that, you know, you start to move towards me, that you know, like, and trust me. You think, well, this guy, Steve Mills, he's not a mad axeman, you know, he's seems to be a decent person, you know, he knows his stuff, and you're moving towards me by watching this video. I sincerely hope you are anyway. But there are lots of ways you can get people to like you, including several of the others. You know, reciprocation. You know, what a great guy, he sent me a book, you know, sent me a report, something like that. You know, so really, really useful. Get people to like you. One of my little cliche sayings is this, and I do think it's true, and it affects the word liking, and that is this: the more people you meet and talk to, the more money will end up in your bank account. That, I think, is like a law of business. You know, so if you're, you know, sat in your office and not getting out there, then, you know, you've got an opportunity to do so. So get people to like you. Next one, authority. How do you position yourself as a person of authority? Again, there's a myriad of ways. I can go and run my own networking event. And I stand up at the front and say, hi, my name's Steve Mills. Thanks for being here. I'm immediately positioned as the main person, the person with the authority. I'm stood up at the front. I've got 50 people in the room, all watching and listening. Here, I'm positioned as an authority. You know, I'm saying I'm an expert in this. I know and understand what I'm talking about. And a whole range of people are coming to listen to me. So I'm positioned as an authority. Where am I? Just trying to look for something here. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's it. Another way of being a position of authority is doing this, writing a book. You know, Steve must know his stuff. He's written a book on it. You know, Robert Cialdini, wow, he must really know his stuff. This has sold, you know, however, I'm just looking here, however many copies, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, you know, so writing a book, writing a report, doing a video, demonstrating, you know, having letters after your name, you know, anything that you can do. You know, even the way you look, you know, if I was sat here with a suit and tie on, would I be better positioned as a person of authority than as I am now with my results t-shirt on? Possibly. Yeah. So there are lots of things that you can do to present yourself as the person of authority. Last one. One of my favorite ones in a way, and I say that slightly tongue in cheek, and that is scarcity. You know, everybody wants the last biscuit in the tin. And when they know that this is running out, this is, I've only got 5 places left on my seminar, or, the registration closes at 5 p.m. today, that type of thing, that can be a useful way of doing it. We right now, I've just bought a lovely, beautiful thatched cottage on the Isle of Wight, and it needs a little bit of work on the thatch, nothing too expensive, hopefully. But when I went to the thatcher, of which there is only one on the Isle of Wight, I found out he's so busy he can't do it till next May. So we had to wait like 18 months for him to do it for us, so scarcity, when you say, well, yeah, I'd love to help, but, I'm fully booked for 18 months, you think, oh, wow, this guy must be good. So we'll see. I'll let you know about that one. But scarcity is definitely something to use. Now, word of warning about this, because I think this is a really important point. Use it ethically. If I say to you, look, I've only got 3 places left on my seminar, and then you book and turn up and the room's half empty, what did I say? Commitment and consistency are really important. Liking, would you like me if I'd conned you? No, you wouldn't. So, we need to make sure that we're behaving ethically about this. If I said, my prices are going up at the end of September, and then you bought something and they didn't go up, again, it just smacks of lack of consistency and truthfulness. So scarcity is really good, but you need to be honest with it. So that's it. I hope that's of value to you. 6 keys: reciprocation, commitment and consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. Thanks very much for listening. If you would like to know more from me, go to my website, get yourself booked into a one-to-one meeting. There are several big gold buttons on there that you'll be able to click on. That will give you access to my diary. When you've got that, you can find a time that's perfect for you. We can meet over Zoom, or if you fancy a trip to the Isle of Wight, why not meet in person? Thanks very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Don't forget, by the way, I do these every single day. So, get yourself on the next one, and I look forward to speaking to you. Thanks for listening.